Hi there. So I did a duet of a video on TikTok, and it was one that was a doctor describing, I guess when he was young, he was a doctor that performed abortions, and he, I think, got out of that, but he was describing the process of an abortion, and, you know, the fact that you have to make sure you get all the body parts, and, you know, I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything. I literally just posted this. So, you know, you get all these comments. Oh, I'm unfollowing you. Oh, how dare you think that we should be allowed to choose whether we get or not a vaccine, but not abortion. And they try to use the body autonomy argument. See, here's kind of how I see that. And I've really never even really thought about this until this morning, but I had to, you know. I mean, I didn't have to, but I did because I was thinking about this comment. Okay. Body autonomy is self-governing your body, okay? So part of that is knowing that if you have sex with someone, there is a possibility of pregnancy. If it weren't legal, it just simply would not be as common, you know, and, well, women died in back alley abortions. Well, okay, billions of babies die a year because of abortions, and yes, and you know, small numbers of women died in back alley abortions. I'm just, you know, and then there's the argument of rape, okay? Well, statistically, from what I've looked up, very, very few rapes actually result in pregnancy. And of all of the first-hand accounts that I've seen, whether or not the mother kept the child or put it up for adoption, the child and the parent were both happy that the child existed. And I feel that if a rape is intended to cause a pregnancy, that is some kind of karmic lesson, some kind of intentional purpose, because, you know, pregnancy isn't necessarily and isn't typically like very easy to achieve, or it's not like necessarily very easy to achieve, but it is more difficult a lot of times than just one time. But of course, you know, if there is that one time, it's hard to explain, but seriously, if a rape produces a child, I mean, it's meant to be. And it just still doesn't okay it. It still doesn't okay it. I feel that abortion was legalized intentionally because, you know, due to being able to see down timelines, they knew that a bunch of star seeds were coming in here to raise the consciousness of this realm. And, you know, you legalize abortion, and that's going to get a lot of them out of there. And it's my understanding that there is a line of spirits waiting to get in here. And if you freaking come in here and then get aborted, you pick somebody that aborts your ass, you go to the back of the line. And so let's just go ahead and do a little story time, okay? Because I certainly don't want anybody coming at me and saying I've never had to make that choice, because that ain't true. Did I have an abortion? No. 2004, meet my husband-to-be, well, later on. And we've been dating about a month. He gets a yeast infection. The only time he's ever had that happen is when his college girlfriend got pregnant and did have an abortion. And so he's like, I think you're pregnant. You know. Now, it wasn't his, you know, because it was like after like the first or second time we'd slept together, you know. And it was the man that I'd left him for. Or I'd left for him. Anyways, so that was a bad decision in itself, but that's another matter. So hi, sweetie. So I'm 23. And my mother is just basically like, well, you know, you have to have an abortion or I'm going to disown you and blah, 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 blah. And so she makes an appointment at an abortion clinic. Well, I make an appointment the exact same day at an OBGYN. And I told her when she goes to pick me up, are you ready to go to your appointment? I'm like, yeah, we're going to an appointment, but we're not going to where you think. And, I just basically told her I'm not making, I am not having an abortion. I'm sorry. Well, we go into the OBGYN appointment. Now, I had stayed up all night and just, bargained with the universe. Now, not God per se. It's rather a benevolent force of good that I feel that doesn't have a name, that has looked out for me. I don't know what to call it, okay? But I don't call it God. Regardless, I had bargained with the universe all night. And I'm like, I can't do it. I can't do it. Please, and all this stuff. And then at the same time, though, I was a little bit afraid that she would disown me. And I didn't want to have this man's baby because I really liked Alex, the new guy, but the husband. But that's still. Anyways, so I go into this appointment and they do an ultrasound. There's a perfectly formed sac. No baby. Was there a baby? I don't know. So I did have to make that choice, and it was not easy. I could have never lived with myself had I chose the other. And I am sure that there are a lot of women out there that regret it beyond, I've known girls that have had so many they can't have children. I've known girls that had a botched one and then they couldn't have kids. And there are just so many people out here, willing to adopt. To sit there and say that, well, you don't care about the foster kids or the violence or whatever. Well, that's a completely different thing. The whole issue is the moral breakdown of humanity. Okay, and allowing all of this stuff to be okay. There should not be a legal option to murder a baby if you get pregnant. I'm sorry. I don't agree with that. I just feel we need to take more responsibility for ourselves. And the body autonomy argument is not very good because you had body autonomy and that's what happened. And I don't really even know how to put it into words as far as with this vaccination. It's a completely different thing. Like, you had sex and got pregnant. It was a consequence of one of your actions. There is no action that I can take or not take or whatever to make me not contract a respiratory virus. And when the statistics are that COVID is 99.8% recovery, people, 99.8% of the people recover from it. And we have to realize that of the numbers that we have, they're hugely inflated. So it's even higher than that. And beyond that, the early data on this inoculation is showing 5% severe injury. So you got a bigger risk of something bad happening from the cure than the actual illness. And so you're telling me that I can't be against the murder, that I can't think that abortion shouldn't be legal and still think that they shouldn't be able to force procedures on us. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But that's how I see it. I don't see them as the same thing. And to sit there and say, well, how about all the foster kids and all that? Well, that's a completely broken system. There are plenty of people out there that would be willing to adopt these kids, but it is seen to it that it is so difficult that it's very hard. And that's another matter. And maybe having a kid might have changed your life for the better. You know, playing God is not something I'm comfortable with doing. And so if creation has occurred in a womb, I just don't feel it's our place. Sorry. It is legal. And while it's legal, you know, people should be allowed to choose whether or not they have the procedure, sure. I just don't think it should have ever been made legal in the first place. Taking it away is a slippery slope. I mean, I don't disagree with taking it away, but I wouldn't say just cold turkey it. Maybe a transition period, and we gotta do better as a society as far as not having sex with everyone. I mean, sex is a sacred. It's supposed to be a sacred thing, and if you only knew how you mixed your energy with these people for the rest of your life that you've had sex with, you know, and you can create lifelong etheric attachments if you don't remove them and stuff. It's just, I don't know. It's instead of fighting each other about these topics, people need to become educated on, or think about why they even came. Why is that even allowed? I mean, it's just, oh, have a good one. I don't even know what to say.